Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box. Meet the Managers Part 4. It's the final episode in our annual Meet the Managers series. And we will be meeting the Big Six. The six top rated managers in the Family Fantasy Football League. Dubbed the title contenders. It's likely that this year's FFFL champion is going to come from one of these six. Before we get to that though, we've got a Wall of Shame entry, the first one in of the season. Hide your head in shame. Haven't jot a clue. Turns out he hasn't. James Holmes entered a perfectly valid team, but then about an hour before the deadline decided to try and change it. Got his sums wrong, didn't add up. So James is the first, surprisingly, only entry so far on the Wall of Shame. He'll no doubt have a visitor very soon. Can't believe Mark Benwell didn't appear on it, because he not only did he submit a valid team, but he changed it a couple of times, about half hour before the deadline, and got it right every time. Well done, Mark. So there you go, James on the Wall of Shame. Now, I mentioned in an earlier edition of Meet the Managers that I was going to try and get a picture of my furry grandson Blake in every edition of Banter in the Box this season. And then I said, actually, I probably won't. But I had to include him this week. I got this message from Ryan Perrin, who was watching the Banter in the Box edition the Meet the Managers episode that he appeared in, and he sent me this message. Blake enjoyed watching his Banter in the Box debut, and I'm very impressed, by the way, that Ryan's watching Banter in the Box on the big screen. That is awesome. But there is Blake checking himself out. That made me chuckle. That is a Manager of the Season point for you, Ryan, which puts you joint top of the Manager of the Season table at this early stage, along with Mops Hoxby and Niall Ponsford. But anyway, the top six managers. And first up, we're meeting the sixth best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League. It is the legend, that is Keith Simons. Team name Legends 23. 8 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. Some might feel this is a bit of a controversial entry as a top six manager, because Keith hasn't had any major honours in his previous 8 seasons. He has had the most weekly wins in 2018 and 2023. He got the highest weekly total in 2023. And in 8 seasons, he's picked up 4 Manager of the Month awards, which is pretty good going. His best ever finish was 4th back in 2021. And he's never been higher than 3rd. Last time he was as high as 3rd was the 15th of April 2021. But he is consistently always up there in his 8 seasons. Every season he's been in and around the top of the table. As I say, never managed to finish higher than 4th. But the consistency makes me think one of these days he's going to pull it off. And it could be this season if it all goes right for Mr. Simons. Next up, the 5th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League. And this is another questionable entry as a big six, but it's Niall Ponsford. Team named the Big Bostacoglis. Now, only 2 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. He was the league runner-up in his debut season, and but for the now banned benefit fraudster tactical gambits, he would have won the league in his debut season, which has only ever been done once in the history of the Family Fantasy Football League. But he finished 2nd, no Manager of the Month awards in his previous 2 seasons. He did have a good start last season. He was top on the 8th of September 2023. But then his league kind of disintegrated. He ended up, I can't remember exactly where Niall finished. I think it was about 9th. So there's a danger that he is he kind of already has got the 1 season wonder tag, which is a tag that a few managers have got. If he wants to shake off that one season wonder tag, he's got to bounce back again. He's got to bounce back this season. So I'm kind of basing his rating as the 5th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League based on that debut season where he made such a big impact. He could come back again this season. If he doesn't, he'll plummet down the rankings. The 4th best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, and I know the fact that he's only ranked 4th is going to rankle him, but it is none other than the Mad Hatter, the Creed Bratton Society. 7 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, but this season he has a target on his back because at the 7th time of asking, he was last season's Family Fantasy Football League champion. He was the runner-up back in 2019, and he was close to doing the double that year because he won the cup in 2019 and he retained it in 2020. Minor honours, a golden boot winner 2 times in those 7 seasons. He got the silver boot last year as well, golden boot winner last year, silver boot winner, league champion. He got the most weekly wins back in 2019, and in those 7 seasons he's had 6 Manager of the Month awards. The Mad Hatter also holds the record for the most goals scored in a season, 134 goals back in 2019. The record still stands. He's the only person in FFFL history ever to retain the Family Fantasy Football League Cup. But like I say, target on his back now. Everyone's gunning for him as he is the champion. He's even in danger of taking over Mark's crown as being, I've got a life's #1 enemy. The 3rd best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League is Mr. Neil Hatch. Team name Ontario Grizzlies. 24 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League, and the honours list is extensive. A 5 times Family Fantasy Football League champion in 98, 05, 2018, 2022 and 2023. He's been the runner-up in the league in 2001 and 2003. He won the cup in 2022, was a runner-up in the cup in 2005, and the minor honours list isn't bad as well. 6 golden boots to Neil's name. 4 consecutive seasons as well. 2000 to 2003 was the golden boot winner. He got it again in 2018 and 2022. He had the most weekly wins in 03, 05 and 2022. The highest weekly total in 2015, 2021 and 2022. 10 Manager of the Month awards Neil has picked up. Only one manager has got more Manager of the Month awards than Neil. He holds the record for the most Family Fantasy Football League titles with 5. No one's won the league as often as Neil. He holds the record for the most golden boots with 6. No one's got that many golden boots. He jointly holds the record for the most Family Fantasy Football League trophies with 6. 5 of them league titles, 1 FFFL Cup. And he holds the record for the most points ever recorded in a season. Back in 2022, he got 2,301 points. That's a record that still stands today. Fairly disappointing season by Neil's high standards last season, but as that record shows, he's a worthy 3rd best manager in the Family Fantasy Football League. And of course, Neil is going to need an exceptionally good season, and even that might be enough to save him, because we are reducing the league from, as I said before, from 27 to 20 managers voted by the majority of the Family Fantasy Football League managers. It means the bottom 7 managers, or the bottom 7, the lowest placed 7 managers who don't attend this year's end of season presentation awards, will be relegated. And Neil lives in Canada, so that's he could come over, I guess, just for the awards. I mean, what better reason to visit the UK than to visit the end of season FFL presentation awards? So to have any hope of avoiding relegation, assuming he doesn't fly over from Canada, he's going to need a really, really high finish in the league. And even that might not be enough, depending on how many people show up for the end of season presentation awards. One more record. One of only 3 managers to retain the FFFL title. The second highest ranked manager in the Family Fantasy Football League is none other than Alexi Lagos, manager of Greece Lightning. 12 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. He is a veteran. Major honours, well, he's been a champion on 2 occasions, 2014 and 2021. Runner-up in the league, 2015 and last season. He was an FFFL Cup runner-up in 2021. Minor honours, Golden Boot winner on 3 occasions, 2016, 2021 and 2023. Most weekly wins in 2016 and 2021. Got the highest weekly total in 2014. 7 Manager of the Month awards to Alexi's name, and he holds an FFFL record. In 2021, he got 9 weekly wins that season. No one's ever got that many weekly wins in a single season. But the number 1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League is Mr. Steve Holmes. And he's been the number 1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League since 2003. Team name Arden Diamonds, 24 previous seasons in the Family Fantasy Football League. And the honours list is long. A 4 times FFFL champion in 03, 08, 2011 and 2020. He was the runner-up in 02, 2016 and 2021. Won the Cup twice, 07 and 2013, and was runner-up in the Cup in 2008. Minor honours, a 3 times Golden Boot winner in 07, 2011 and 2013. He got the Silver Boot in 2021. Most weekly wins on 4 occasions, 08, 2011, 2012 and 2015. The highest weekly total in 2012, 2018 and 2023. And he's had an unprecedented 14 Manager of the Month awards. That is an FFFL record. No one has had more Manager of the Month awards than Mr. Steve Holmes. He also holds the record for the most top 4 finishes. 15 times in 24 seasons, Steve has finished in the top 4 in the league. And that level of consistency is why every season he is the manager to beat. He's also jointly won the most Family Fantasy Football League trophies with 6. No one's won more trophies than Steve. 4 league titles, 2 FFFL Cups, and he shares that record with Neil Hatch and my good self. So, that's it. You've met all of the managers in this season's Family Fantasy Football League. Easy for me to say. Competition. You know your entry. You know your enemy. And the teams have now been confirmed. They were emailed out earlier. So there is a chance now for you to earn Manager of the Season points. Remember, the Manager of the Season at the end of this season wins £15 million in free tactical gambits to use next season. The manager that finishes second in the Manager of the Season table will win £10 million of free tactical gambits to use next season. And the manager that finishes third will win £5 million of free tactical gambits to use next season. Your chance to earn some Manager of the Season points is by entering the Predictor Challenge. You've now got the teams emailed out to you earlier. You can look at who's picked what players and see how your team shapes up against the competition. And what I need you to do to earn some Manager of the Season points at the end of the season is message me who you think is going to finish first, second and third in the league, who you think is going to win the Family Fantasy Football League Cup, and who you think is going to take home the dreaded wooden spoon. So 5 predictions, top 3 in the league, first, second and third. Who's going to win the FFFL Cup and who's going to take home the wooden spoon. For every prediction you get right at the end of the season, you will earn 5 Manager of the Season points. So a possible 25 Manager of the Season points at the end of the season, if by some amazing stroke of luck you get all 5 predictions right. You need to get those predictions into me by Friday, let's say, what's the date today? I don't even know what the date is. Let's say 7th. So we are the 8th. No, we're not. We're the 15th of August. Let's say you need to get those predictions into me by Friday, the 23rd of August. After that, it'd be too late. So you've got just over a week to get your predictions into me. And the Premier League season kicks off tomorrow night. Manchester United taking on Fulham. The season is upon us. How we've missed it over the course of the summer. Banter in the Box back next week for your Game Week 1 review. Other ways to earn Manager of the Season points. Quote of the weeks posted on the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group. Memes on the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group. If you've got some really juicy stories about other managers, don't worry if they're true or not. You can email them over to me and I will share them anonymously. Or maybe not. And I'm also interested in if you've got any hilarious photos of other Family Fantasy Football League managers that I can use in the Banter in the Boxes. That'll be worth Manager of the Season points if they're really hilarious. So until next time, everybody, take care.